Welcome to the AI Talk Show, where we discuss the news, share insights, bring guests from the industry, take questions, and involve you in the conversation. AI is having an impact on our businesses, our lives, our society, and everything around us. As leaders in the industry, it's our responsibility to jump in and be part of the discussion. So let's start our conversation. I'm your host, Asha Saxena, CEO, Women Leaders in Data and AI. In today's episode, we will be discussing AI and Metaverse. The Metaverse is a vast virtual space that connects people across the physical and digital world. Especially in Web3, the Metaverse allows you to control your own identity, data, and assets. We should consider the Metaverse as a more open, decentralized, and interportable version of the internet that includes immersive interaction. We've seen Metaverse for games, but now we are also looking at Metaverse in business. Metaverse is built on technologies like XR, blockchain, 5G, and AI enhances all these Metaverse building block technologies in a very interesting way. So to discuss AI and Metaverse, I have my guest today, Sandy Carter, Chief Operating Officer, Unstoppable Domain. Sandy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Asha, how are you doing?
Good, I'm doing good. And I have to say, I'm so excited to have you on the show because not only that you're the thought leader in the world of Metaverse, but also your thoughts, opinions, and your leadership in Web3 has been remarkable. I know there is an article that came out recently, which has been on the highest performing article in Forbes Media, how AI and Web3 can defeat deep fraud. But what I want to really talk about is that when you talk about Metaverse, we have been talking about virtual spaces. And when we say virtual spaces, technically, they can exist with either AI or with virtual reality. And when you talk about the avatar, and when we talk about these avatars in Metaverse, the use of avatar accuracy, it really depends on the experience a user can have. And we talk about the 2D user images or 3D scans that have become very realistic. The worry really is that these avatar or the deep fake, how real these deep fake can be, and how they can really cause damage to the users or the people who are interacting. I love the fact that you wrote an article on the fact how AI and Web3 can defeat deep fraud. And first of all, congratulations. It's been the highest performing article for the Forbes media. Can you, first of all, tell me why do you think there is such a fascination about what you wrote? And how do you truly believe that AI and Web3 can defeat deep frauds?
Yeah, so I think that people are now very concerned about deep fakes. In fact, there was a recent whole day session on AI, and they asked 500 enterprises, what's your number one concern with AI? The number one concern that enterprises said is it's going to give rise to frauds and deep fakes or duplicate accounts looking to steal identities or steal data. And now, because AI tooling is so affordable, you can create, a fake picture, replicate someone's voice, or even a video call without someone's knowledge or consent. So I think people are really interested in what do you do about that? I mean, now that the tool set is so easy and so affordable, this is going to be happening more and more. So I really wrote the article to showcase how Web3 and blockchain technology can be a way that AI and Web3 work together to provide verified proof of identity. So you can really add trust and safety to all those online interactions. So if you think about it, when you're using Web3, which is based on the blockchain has these hashes, and these hashes serve as critical tools to prove that an image or a video has not undergone alteration or has not been fakely created. And those cryptographic fingerprints, once they're generated, cannot be easily modified, and it would provide concrete evidence of the content's integrity. So what this means is that a blockchain-based solution makes it increasingly difficult for some malicious actor to manipulate or tamper with that digital content. So I think these digital IDs come in many forms, and they exist today to help at a variety of levels of potential deepfake, opportunities that are out there. So, if you think about it, I think scammers are going to try to create these deepfake duplicates. But with blockchain and Web3 and using that digital identity, it's going to be increasingly difficult for them to provide verified proof of identity. So I love working with, this Web3 ID space because it is very unique. And thanks to the security of blockchain, also very difficult to tamper with.
I like what you said, because there is truly a belief that metaverse or generative AI or deep fakes could truly create harmful content. I mean, there's a lot of worry. I mean, we've seen a lot of examples on deep fake where we see either Trump saying something or Obama, and especially in politics, right? There's
Yep.
a lot of really deep fake, and people are using that more for comedy, but it can generate hate speech, or it can create, some form of harmful content. And I think that's truly the worry, is that could people use deepfake or these technologies to create harmful and hateful content. The great example of the chatbot Tay, when Microsoft had to bring it down, was really because when Tay, the 19-year-old chatbot, during the election time in 2016, became super hateful, and Microsoft had to turn it down. But the problem is, I think, with the metaverse, is that the avatars are so real and deepfakes look so real that it's very hard to tell the difference from real to fake. And it's very hard. I mean, the worry about how, what I heard recently was that you can have these voices. They can take the voice from a YouTube and put it on the avatar, that you actually can really feel that you're talking to your own child or your own family member, which I think is the worrisome. But I think if you really think about the positives of how we can use these technologies in business, because as we are working with this, with especially with the AI and metaverse, the environments are so realistic, they're immersive. They truly believe, you start thinking that, oh my God, either the weather effects or landscapes or really realistic looking non-player characters, the NPCs, where you start feeling that, the character is real, the environment is real, and that we have now the possibility of creating the realistic and engaging effects in metaverse, which becomes the possibility of, as we said, the negative impact or the positive impact in business. What is your thought on why you think it is important for us to understand the relationship between AI and metaverse and the power of it in business?
Well, if you imagine metaverse, and when I say metaverse, I am talking about a digital world where, people will interact, they'll play, they'll work, they'll create a social presence in a virtual world. Now, it might have AR and VR, but it doesn't have to, and really the definition of the metaverse. So if you look at how our adoption is going in the metaverse, we really see kind of three phases of it. The first one I think we've all experienced today, which is really around being transported to another world. It's very simple, right? You put glasses on or you go into a 3D space and you're just transported to that world. The second one I think that we're just entering into is transformation. And so if you think about that, it's really about spatial computing, which is already using artificial intelligence today, and really ensuring that you've got, the right set of avatars that are there. Today, for example, Unstoppable uses AI to generate avatars. So it's really looking at how you're transformed. I think the real benefit of metaverse comes in when you get to that third phase, right? Not just transport, not just transform, but that third phase of transact. And so in transact, this is where now you're going to start doing commerce, right? You're really going to start potentially buying things or looking at something that way. It's really the economics of it. And I think that's where, again, metaverse and AI can partner. I think in all three of these levels, there's some partnership, right? Like if you're thinking about transform, you can help with building an avatar. But when you get to the commerce piece, now you can get advice about how to buy, what to buy, how you should craft things together. So for example, Accenture uses the metaverse to onboard all of their employees, right? Julie Sweet's so smart. She has her employees drinking their own champagne. But imagine if now I'm onboarding and I have AI with me in the metaverse. And now what I can do is I can customize that learning just for me. So now I'm in the metaverse, which makes it experiential. But now I've got AI that gives me custom education. I mean, education is really a big hot button for me today, right? We're basically completely broken. But if I can customize where I can give you education that's based on your level of understanding, your background, I can accelerate your learning exponentially. That's just one example of how AI and metaverse could work together. Another great one is in digital twins. If you think about a digital twin is simply a metaverse replicating a real world environment. So whether you're a metal company or a cappuccino maker, you can create a digital twin and use AI simulation inside of that twin to ensure that you get the very, very, very best results. And one of my favorite examples here is a company that has worked with Altair, which is an AI company. And one of the things that they did, again, it's not like as sexy as a game or an avatar, but very business focused. And what they've done is they were able to improve metal forming process. Now imagine creating a metaverse to really focus on how you're looking at your metal process. So they did create this digital twin or this metaverse to understand how different metal properties reacted with each other, what the operating conditions were, applying AI to that simulation. So not only are they seeing better products for their customers, but they also reduced their waste portfolio by 15%. So again, some of the best use cases, Asha, are not the sexiest ones, but they're the ones that give you that amazing business value.
That's really interesting. As you were talking about these use cases, practical use cases in business, there's also use cases, the fun use cases of fashion show in metaverse. Or the other one, which I heard, was that there was a purchase of digital version of Gucci bag on Roblox platform. This was what it was like sold for $350,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of these examples where the commerce is happening in metaverse, how real it is and how sustainable it is. Do you worry about the sustainability of really the commerce in metaverse? And is it how usable and how effective it is, or how scalable would it be?
I think right now, actually, industrial metaverse is probably leading the pack for use. And that's primarily these digital twin replications. But I do see some of the metaverses starting to take off. You mentioned one of them, Asha, which is Roblox.
Yeah.
I mean, the younger community loves it. I've been in there. It's super easy being the key word. Folks like Forever 21 are using it to recruit a new audience. They're doing co-creation with designers inside of Roblox and then creating something that they sell. And of course, now you have all these young girls who have helped design the hat, the shirt, and now they want to buy it. So they're selling out. It's increased their brand awareness. It's increased their sales. It really has a big impact. I think those type of things are doing well. I mean, Roblox has amazing use cases and usage numbers. They're greater than any social media we have today. But I think the real key, if we really want this to take off, it has to be easier, right? Like I'm a adjunct professor at Carnegie Mellon, and we had some students taking a class. It's hard. Like even smart people creating an avatar, moving the avatar around, getting to the right place, not falling into the water. It's not an easy task. So we have to make it easier and more consumable.
I agree with you completely. And another use case which I'm fascinated by, the multilingual accessibility. when you're in metaverse and the users communicating in their own language, and now you have others who probably don't understand the language, but they can actually use the natural language and convert it into machine language, where they can transform the language into another language and actually have a conversation even though they're not speaking the same language. So I think there are a lot of really fascinating use cases where we could actually use that, having global teams around the world, where you feel like you're sitting next to the person, can speak in the language, and get basically have that translated while you're talking and have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah, I think that's really important to be able to focus on real value, right? Not just, I mean, I think fun is great, right? Like I just went to a fashion show in the metaverse and I had a lot of fun. But if you think about the real value, I love these use cases where you're translating language or you're improving a metal process or, like Forever 21, you're improving the way that you're engaging with the next generation and also selling. Or BMW has also entered the metaverse, Asha. They're one of the first non-metaverse companies to join the metaverse standards group. And that's like thumbs up for BMW because they're so innovative. But they're also using the metaverse, to co-create, which has real value, right, to their design team and R&D. So those are the use cases I really am attracted to, are the ones that, you and I have been in business for a while. We want to see the business outcome, not just the coolness of the technology, right? Just like AI. I mean, who cares if it's super cool? What is the value that it brings to your business? That's what you've got to focus on. What's the business outcome?
It also depends upon the behavior of the consumer. And as you said, the younger generation is so used to being in the metaverse. They're so
Yep.
used to having the technology at their access. And especially the gaming world has really created this whole generation which feels very comfortable being in metaverse, communicating. I was talking to a peer, and he was saying that I walk into my living room and I see my son wearing the headset and having a conversation and discussing the homework with the classmates in metaverse, which I thought was so fascinating. When you spoke about education, the fact that education can truly be impacted, the way the younger students would learn, the whole experience can be different. um, there's a great story which Sal Khan, the Khan Academy founder, was talking about. And this woman who's in Afghanistan has no access to education, being able to be online, learn, find out about SAT, and has no formal education. She goes to Pakistan to take the SAT and then comes to US to do her PhD, a graduate degree, and now she's enrolled in PhD. The power of having the virtual world, and that enables us to, is it AI, is it metaverse, is it web3 technologies? I love the world of being in decentralized world where people have control of their data, people have access to a lot of data, and they actually can control how they will take their path. And now that enables businesses to really learn how to engage with these consumers and how to sell or do business or do commerce with these, and create. And I love when you think about retail industry or consumer product industry. They need to really be able to influence. They need to be able to innovate with these technologies and be creative to understand their consumer and what they really truly want. And with the technology, and I talk about the half glass full because you can worry about what can go wrong. But when you start thinking about the positive use cases, the use cases can be tremendous. But there is,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that use cases can, I think this technology has such power. Like, I think we're only looking at just a small portion of what is possible out there today. And I do think, Asha, it's going to take a long time. One of my favorite quotes is that we overestimate the power of technology in the short term. So, we want AI to be, whipping right now and the metaverse to be up and working right now. And we want it to go really fast. And when we don't see it, we kind of move on. But those who are really successful actually underestimate the impact of technology in the long term because they're in it for the long term. And so they want to stay in it and make sure that they're there for the winning play. So I'm sure all of your listeners out there and viewers are going to be those who don't overestimate it in the short term, but they take it serious for the long term because this will have a lasting impact.
It definitely will be. And I have to tell you that all major companies, you talk about the management consulting firm or, like Accenture, Deloitte, KPMG are investing heavily in Web3, Metaverse, and generative AI. But not only that, you can talk about retail, CPG, healthcare. All industries are investing heavily in technologies, and especially these technologies, because they can see the value. I'm working with an organization which is global in nature, and they're having their global team come on the call with me and they all bought the book, and they all are coming on because and the CEO actually had their entire management team read the book, come up with ideas of how we can use AI, Web3, and Metaverse to enhance the workforce or work experiences. You can not only use these technologies to engage with the consumer, but also internally with employees and enhance the experience with your own team. But I also like the fact that if you, as leaders, we empower our team to come up with ideas, create the list, think about priorities, and see what is the highest value add. And that's where you start from to understand what can these technology provide the value. And the beauty is, Sandy, I don't think ever before technology's turnaround on value has been so quick.
Yeah.
Remember those days when we used to like implement CRMs and ERPs, and it was like a 3-year project. Even building a data warehouse was, years of effort, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And now we have these technologies with quick turnaround.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem right now is I don't know if people understand it, which is why, I'm glad that you wrote your book on the AI factor. And, because you wrote a quote for me, I just finished my book, which is called The Tiger and the Rabbit. And it's all about Metaverse, AI, and Web3. But my publisher had me do something different, which I've never done before, which is write it as a business fable. And the reason they wanted me to write it as a business fable is they thought the topics were so complicated. So they wanted me to tell a story like a fictional company who has to use this and go through frameworks and go through looking at things. They wanted me to tell it in a story mode, which was really hard, Asha. You and I have written business books before, but writing that dialogue was really, really difficult, I must say. But I did have ChatGPT write me a quote too. So I got a quote from you and I got a quote from ChatGPT, which should be really fun as well.
I love that. And I think the fun part is when people like you and me who are so immersed actually can use ChatGPT or generative AI to be able to share our thoughts and experiences and make it fun, make it real and fun. As we come to a close, I want to ask you an important question, and that is, if businesses or a leader who's listening to this show wants to get a buy-in from the user for Metaverse or Web3 or AI, where do they truly start from? So one takeaway from where they can start from.
So, again, a truth in advertising, I work for a company called Unstoppable, and we do digital identity, but I truly believe that is a great place to start. And here's why. First of all, you lock in your digital identity, both for now and for the future, but you also now get to experiment with all different elements. There's an avatar attached, so you get to play with an avatar. You can log into games and DeFi, so you can have that experience. You collect digital collectibles, so you see what that's all about. And then you can see some of the differences in technologies as you use, badging as well. So this is what a digital identity looks like. And I think it's very visual. And if you are a Web 2 user, usually what Web 2 users say is, wow, this just looks like a LinkedIn version for Web3. But everything on this page is verifiable and credentialed. So that's really important in this age of artificial intelligence. So I'll just do a couple of points. Like right here, this little spinning avatar is created with a company called Ready Player Me. They use artificial intelligence to create an avatar. Hopefully this one looks like me. I've got my glasses on, but now I can use that avatar in over 7,000 metaverses. It's credentialed. So if you run into me in the metaverse, you can verify that that is me, which I think is really powerful. You also see that I've linked up crypto wallets here, which enables me now to do that commerce, Asha, that we just talked about inside of the metaverses. I've also got all my digital collectibles here, enabling me to prove things that is credentialed. I'll give you one example. Let's just take, education, for example. So here you see a lot of certificates and everything that I might have gone through. I was chatting with LinkedIn, for example, and LinkedIn was telling me that 40% of people who list that they graduated from Harvard on their LinkedIn profile never graduated from Harvard. Isn't that wild? Because we're just putting it up there. So if you have a profile like this is credential, like it's verifiable, you can't transfer it out, but it certifies that I took this class, I got this diploma, this is what I did. And then here you can see the communities. So this enables a whole set of communities, which I think are powerful. And then you can even, leverage some of these in metaverses. So these are cars that you can race in a metaverse car racing game that uses AI to help you and direct you to win. So if you look at this, you can see like Web3 with its digital identities coming into, and it really impact the metaverse. And then AI is like the glue that holds everything together. I think it's very, very, very powerful.
I love that. I love that you actually, can have everything in one place, from your art to your currency, your trade. I
Your
have to say,
education, which,
that's yeah, incredible. And I have to say that I have my domain, so I have to say I'll encourage everybody to have their own domains. And it's a great way to start, right? I love how easy it is for anyone to get really engaged in the Web3 world, and get their hands dirty. But when you think about, the fear is real. The fact that we are moving from the artificial narrow intelligence, we are getting exposed to all these technologies, which can truly create not only an impact, but also a worry, is real. The question is, how do we as leaders jump in and create the impact responsibly and ethically? And for me, I would say the last takeaway for me would be that if people want to start, I would say start from really thinking about the power quadrant I talk about in the book. Is really think about where you are today. How do you want to use either Web3, Metaverse, or AI in your business, understanding where your business truly is today? It's okay to say, you know what, I want to just create efficiency within my organization. I truly want to create a workplace which either provide high satisfaction for employees, create operational efficiencies, or reduce cost. So, and that's a very fair game. Or you can say, you know what, I want to be an innovator. I want to launch new products. I want to understand what products the organization want. Or I can be a or I can be a extender. I want to know how to create market share. I want to just go out and understand how can I capture more market for my product. Or you can be a multiplier, that I want to break my own mold. I want to break my own business model. I love the story of Netflix because they keep breaking their own model. They came in with a red DVD, mail in DVD, and they said, now we're going to stream. They started streaming the media, and they went to original content. So I would ask you a question, whether you are breaking your own business model. It's all about reinventing. With all these technologies, are you ready to reinvent? There are going to be controversies with technology. There always have been when it comes to chemical, biological, technical, or web. We always had controversy around technology. People believe in science, and then we have people who don't believe in science. The question is, how can you responsibly take this opportunity to create a change within your organization?
Asha, I would also add, one of the things that, as I research for my book that I found that winners do is create what I called a rabbit team. And that rabbit team is set up to look forward, always looking forward, looking at the new technologies. Where are the use cases? Where are the gaps in an organization? How do you see those? And that rabbit team would, really has on it, not just, marketing and strategy, but some of the new technologists, like I would get a gamer on it, for example. I would have AI tool set on it to really fill it out. The power of having such a team is that, it's AI today, and it'll probably be AI for a couple of years, but then there'll be something else. So how are you always staying ahead of that so that you're customer obsessed, you're meeting your customers' need with the new technology? So I think that would be really the only add that I would have to your great advice that you gave everybody.
But I have to say, Sandy, there was a organization I worked with, a large media company, and they, on their tech team, they always had diverse skills. They had actually a musician on the team who was actually more creative. So they would actually go out and hunt for people on their team who brought diverse thought process. Of course, diversity of gender, color, creed, all that, of course, but also artistic values, or as you said, gamer. So really
Yep.
thinking about, and especially in data science, right? Data science and metaverse and AI, you do want experts or professionals who are bringing different insight, or looking at the data set differently, or looking at the environment differently to make it better.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I also think the teams, one of the reasons I titled my book, The Tiger and the Rabbit, is because I think the team's mindset also needs to change. You and I have both been on lots of tiger teams, right? We're brought in to attack a problem, right? And you solve that problem and then you kind of move on. I think today, because technology is traveling and moving so fast, you really need a rabbit team that stays with it, that can dive deep, go down the rabbit hole, if you would, but that's also rapid and fast and stays with what you're working on. So I think the mentality of the team structure also, in addition to being diverse, needs to be different, like a rabbit team versus a tiger team. And in fact, one of the examples or quotes in the book that I used is Pepsi. Pepsi was trying to figure out how to look at all these future technologies. And she said, she went to my presentation at South by Southwest and said, I'm going to rename my team the Rabbit Team, because I do want that different mentality. It's not that we're attacking one problem or one challenge. We want to do this on a continual basis.
I love that you named it Tiger and Rabbit, and it really makes sense when you think about what kind of people do you want to hire, or what kind of culture do you want to build? Because there is a place for Tiger Team and there's also a place for Rabbit Team, and they both combined together can actually help you evolve and reinvent. So
You got it. That's
thank you,
great.
Sandy. Thank you, Sandy, so much. I can continue talking to you for hours, but we have to wrap. Thank you for joining us today as we look forward to bringing more thought-provoking discussions, cutting-edge news, expert insights in our next episode. Please go to LinkedIn to subscribe and follow, as well as check out all the links and resources in the show notes. If you enjoyed the episode and you like to help support, please share it with others, post about this on social media, leave a review. And that's all for the episode. I'm your host, Asha Saxena, and this is the AI Talk Show. I'll see you next time.